Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm just going to be showing you guys my legend tier list. For anyone who hasn't seen any of my tier list videos before, F is for trash, D is for bad / needs a buff, C is for average, B is for good, A is for amazing, and S is for god tier. This video is sponsored by no one, so like and sub.
Do it.
Also make sure to comment your own top 3 best legends down below. Anyways, let's get into the tier list. Coming in at the bottom of D is Watson. All of Watson's abilities are based around camping. Like, her fences are great for camping up a building, but even then it's just not as good as Caustic Gas. Her passive shield regen is just kind of slow, doesn't do too much to be honest. I think a nice little buff to that would be kind of good. And her ultimate is probably her best ability by far. It's really good if you are camping up a building or holding building in ranked, so I do think she has some viability for ranked, but with this new map being so big, most of the time you're just rotating around trying to find people. It's not really like World's Edge in Capital where you can just sit in a building and everyone is just constantly coming to you. You have to go around and find people, and that is why she is at the bottom of the tier list at D. Coming in next is Crypto. Crypto's passive is pretty good for the new map because you're able to see how many squads are nearby, and combine that with his drone, it's pretty good for scouting and recon. Although this is only if you play a bit more passively. Most people play aggressive like me, and it doesn't have as much use. And his EMP is good as always, and that's why he is in the top of D. Coming in at the bottom of C is Rampart. Rampart is pretty fun to play with her minigun and walls. I love the new buff she got a little while ago with the portable minigun. It is just so fun running around and gunning down squads with it. But she is just too situational to be a really good legend or a meta legend, and that is why she is in C tier. Coming in next is Mirage. Mirage is 100% the best trolling legend in Apex Legends. And the thing I love most about him is even with really sweaty players, if you pop their ult right in front of the face, sometimes they can't tell who you are and you can just be running laps around them and it takes them ages to figure out who you are. It is the best way to control a good player. However, in saying that, sometimes it is fairly easy to pick out the Mirage, and other than his decoys, he doesn't really have any other ability. It's all based around his decoys, and that is why he is in C tier. Coming in next is Revenant. I'm sad to see my Revy boy all the way down here, but ever since they nerfed his ultimate ability, it's just been so easy to see him, like literally halfway across the map you can see him pop his ultimate. It just makes it really hard to use it because it just is a third party alert for all the other squads. And that was the ability that made him an A to S tier legend. And I do understand why they nerfed him, but they should have done it a lot differently, because they nerfed him because of the Rev Octane combo, because you can pop the Rev ult and immediately jump on their heads with an Octane jump pad. That was just way too OP, but they shouldn't have nerfed Revenant because they literally just destroyed this man. And I understand why they wanted to nerf Revenant, not Octane, because Octane has such a high pick rate. It would have disappointed a lot more of the fans, but they definitely should have tried nerfing the combo. Like maybe if whenever you're in Rev mode and you go on a jump pad, it's just a lot less effective on the jump pad. I think that would have been a nice little nerf, because it's nerfing the combo while leaving both the legends still good. Anyways, moving on to B tier, we got Seer. Now I'm so insanely thankful that they nerfed Seer at the beginning of season 10. He was insanely OP. He was like 4 different legends combined into one. And I think Seer is in a pretty good spot right now. He's pretty balanced. He's not super OP, but he's also not bad, which is good to see. All of his abilities are very useful in fights, and that's why Lil Nas is at B tier. Coming in next is Wraith. In my opinion, Wraith has slowly been getting nerfed to the ground. She used to be a really good legend. Back in like season 4, she was probably the best legend in the game, but now she's just kind of in the middle. She's still pretty decent legend. In my opinion, Ash's ultimate ability is better than Wraith's ultimate ability because they're both pretty similar. Ash is just a lot faster and a lot more efficient, and that's why Wraith is in B tier. Coming up next is Bangalore. In my opinion, Bangalore has always been a really strong legend. She's always been around about the middle, and she's never really had any buffs or nerfs. She's just always been really solid. Definitely a really good legend, especially for new players to pick up, and that is why she's in the top of B. Coming in at A is Fuse. Fuse is actually a really solid legend. He makes fights just so chaotic and so much fun. Fuse has seen quite a few buffs since his season 8 launch, and he's one of the most fun legends to play in my opinion. Coming in next is Caustic, my ex-main. Caustic is a very solid legend, probably the best defense legend in the game. He's great for camping, but he's also got a pretty good aggressive side to him. I definitely recommend getting him if you haven't got him already. His ability just to hold areas and push squads out of areas is just amazing, and I absolutely love him. Coming in next is Loba. Now at the end of last season, I was playing with one of my mates and he was running Loba, and I never realized how good she was. Her ultimate ability is insane. You're literally always fully kitted with loot, and that is just a big advantage you have over enemies. And all of her other abilities are also pretty strong. Her passive is kind of meh, but her other abilities carry that pretty well. Coming in next is Pathfinder, and in my opinion, the legend that takes most skill. Pathfinder's my boy. I absolutely love him. I think a really good Pathfinder player is definitely an S tier player. I'm a pretty mediocre Path player, so I'd say he's about an A if you're just an average player, but he's so good and so much fun to play. Coming in next is Lifeline. Now Lifeline is my absolute nightmare when I'm doing no-fill solo queue. It is just so hard to 1v3 a squad when they're constantly rezzing, and that's one thing that makes her really good. Coming in next is Horizon. Now Horizon's abilities are really fun to play on this map, especially with the new launch cannons. Because of her passive ability, you just can slide so far, and her ultimate and tactical work really well together, and overall she's just a really solid legend. Coming in at the top of A is Valkyrie. Valkyrie is just so good for flanking and building fights, because she can go from one floor to the other floor really easily, and it just confuses the enemies and makes it a lot harder for them, and you can just get so many weird little angles through windows. She's also very viable for ranked, because her ultimate gives your team really nice easy rotations. Coming in S tier is Bloodhound. Bloodhound's pretty much always been meta. He's just so strong with his scanning abilities. He's good for pubs and ranked especially, and he overall is just super fun, especially in beast mode. It is just so fun, and it feels like everyone is just so easy to one clip. Coming in next is the speed demon himself, Octane. Octane is super fun. He is so good, especially for getting high damage in kill games, just because you're so fast in between fights. You can go from one fight to another really fast. Especially on a new big map, it is nice to have a movement legend that you can get around the map fast with, because it is honestly really hard sometimes to find kills on this new big map. Coming in next is Ashe. Ashe's passive is super good for ranked, especially for planning rotations, because you can ping death boxes to see where the enemies are, and you can also see all the other death boxes on the map, which is super good because you can see the areas of the map that have had lots of action and you might want to stay away from. Her ultimate is like a better Wraith portal, which you can make huge plays with, and her tactical is amazing for capturing people and sticking them with arc stars and just even beaming them, because people always freak out when you hit them with that. Coming in at the top of S tier is the big man himself, Gibber. Gibby is just so strong. He literally has a 100% pick rate in ALGS in majority of pro tournaments, and that's because literally all of his abilities are OP. He is more broke than my bank account. Make sure to comment your own top 3 best legends down below. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to check out these ones.